What if I told you the fall of Muammar Gaddafi wasn't triggered by protests alone? What if it wasn't about democracy, human rights, or even dictatorship? What if the real reason was something far more dangerous? A plan whispered in African halls, written in gold, and capable of shaking the global financial order. And what if the man who dared to imagine it was a Bedouin officer from the Libyan desert who refused to bow to kings, presidents, or currencies? This is the story of Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was born in 1942 near Sirte, Libya. Not in a palace, but in a tent. His family were Bedouins, living by tribal honor, survival, and memory. At the time, Libya was technically independent, but foreign military bases dotted its land. British and American officers moved freely. Oil flowed outward. Decisions were made elsewhere. As a boy, Gaddafi watched outsiders command his homeland with confidence. And a quiet question took root. Why do they decide our fate? At school, he discovered Gamal Abdel Nasser, Egypt's revolutionary who defied Western influence. Gaddafi memorized Nasser's speeches. He didn't dream of wealth. He dreamed of sovereignty. By his 20s, he joined the military, not to serve a king, but to end one. In September 1969, while Libya's King Idris was abroad, Gaddafi acted. There were no mass protests, no civil war, no gunfire echoing through cities. A group of young officers quietly seized radio stations, air bases, and government buildings. By sunrise, the monarchy was gone. Gaddafi was only 27. He didn't call himself president. He rejected titles. Instead, he became the brother leader, a symbol, not an office. To the Arab world, he was the youngest revolutionary in power. To the West, he was unpredictable. To Libya, he was something new. Gaddafi did not rule like other dictators. He wrote the Green Book, a strange mix of ideology, tribal logic, and revolutionary theory. He rejected capitalism. He rejected communism. He rejected parliamentary democracy. Instead, he introduced Jamahiriya, rule by the masses. People's committees replaced parliament. Tribes governed themselves, at least on paper. Oil was nationalized. Foreign companies were pushed out. Revenue stayed inside Libya. Education became free. Healthcare became free. Housing became a state responsibility. Libya's standard of living rose to the highest in Africa. And then came his most ambitious project, the Great Man-Made River. Water drawn from ancient underground reserves beneath the Sahara piped across the country. Engineers called it impossible. Gaddafi built it anyway. But behind the revolution was a hard truth. No one challenged Gaddafi. Opposition was crushed. Dissent vanished. Libya was stable, but tightly controlled. Over time, Gaddafi embraced his image as an outsider. He wore desert robes, pitched a tent even on foreign soil, spoke in riddles and provocations. He funded liberation movements across the globe, from Africa to Latin America. To the West, he was a sponsor of terrorism. To many Africans, he was a symbol of resistance. Sanctions followed. Isolation deepened. Yet Gaddafi endured. And then, in the early 2000s, his focus shifted, away from weapons, away from ideology, towards something far more powerful: money. Gaddafi believed modern empires were not built by armies alone. They were built by currencies. Oil was sold in dollars. African debt was priced in dollars. Global institutions dictated terms in dollars. To Gaddafi, the dollar was a weapon without bullets. So he proposed something radical: a gold-backed African currency, the gold dinar. Oil would be sold for gold, not paper. African trade would bypass Western banks. Wealth would stay in Africa. Libya held vast gold reserves. Gaddafi was ready to supply the foundation. African leaders listened. Some supported it openly, others quietly. In Western financial centers, alarms rang. Because if oil-producing nations abandoned the dollar, the foundation of global power would crack. This wasn't economics, it was geopolitics. And Gaddafi had crossed a red line. In 2011, protests erupted across the Arab world. Libya followed. The world saw a popular uprising. Intelligence agencies saw an opportunity. Before the first protest, Libya was already under observation. Its gold reserves, its African alliances, its refusal to integrate into Western security systems. As unrest grew, foreign powers moved quickly. Sanctions strangled the economy. Media framed a clear villain. Arms flowed to rebels. NATO entered under the banner of protecting civilians. But the campaign rapidly shifted. Convoys were destroyed. Command centers targeted. Gaddafi's communications collapsed. His allies stepped back. His system fractured. The man who ruled for 42 years was now a hunted figure. In October 2011, Gaddafi fled Sirte in a convoy. A NATO drone spotted him. A strike hit. Rebels closed in. On a dusty roadside, the man who challenged kings, empires, and currencies was killed. No trial, no exile, no surrender. Libya did not become a democracy. It became a battlefield. Militias carved territory. ISIS infiltrated. Foreign mercenaries arrived. The state collapsed. Africa's most ambitious currency project vanished. The gold dinar died with its creator. Dollar dominance remained untouched. Some called it a humanitarian success. Others called it a warning. History still debates Muammar Gaddafi. Tyrant or visionary? Dictator or revolutionary? Madman or man who saw too far ahead? One question lingers, the same twist we began with. Did Gaddafi fall because he oppressed his people, or because he dared to challenge the system that rules the world? History hasn't answered yet.